When Gitanjali was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1913, the world did not merely recognize a book of poems, it encountered a new way of understanding poetry itself. Written by Rabindranath Tagore, Gitanjali broke away from ornament, complexity, and intellectual display. Instead, it spoke in a voice that was quiet, direct, and profoundly intimate. These poems did not seek to impress. They sought to surrender. At a time when poetry was often measured by structure, form, and rhetorical skill, Gitanjali arrived almost bare. Its language was simple. Its images were restrained. And yet within that simplicity lay immense depth. Tagore transformed poetry from an act of expression into an act of listening to silence, to humility, to something larger than the self. What made Gitanjali revolutionary was its relationship with the ego. Most poetry announces the poet. Gitanjali dissolves him. The speaker does not demand answers from the universe. He waits. He does not conquer meaning. He receives it. The poems feel less like compositions and more like offerings placed gently before the unknown. This was deeply unfamiliar to Western readers at the time, and yet it resonated immediately. Why? Because Gitanjali did not belong to any single culture or religion. Though rooted in Indian spiritual thought, its longing was universal. It spoke of waiting, surrender, gratitude, and quiet joy, the emotional states that exist beneath language itself. Tagore redefined poetry by removing performance from it. There's no urgency in these poems, no dramatic climax. Instead, there is patience. The poems breathe. They pause. They allow space for the reader to enter, not as an observer, but as a participant. Perhaps that is why Gitanjali still feels alive today. In an age of noise, speed, and constant assertion, its verses feel almost radical. They remind us that poetry does not have to shout to be profound. That meaning does not always arrive through effort. And that sometimes the deepest truths emerge only when the self steps aside. Gitanjali did not win the Nobel Prize because it was exotic or philosophical. It won because it revealed something timeless, that poetry, at its highest form, is not about saying more but about learning how to listen.